Where would you like me to sit, honey? I'll sit wherever you want me to sit. How about this? Is that good?
Yeah.
Right on top of you. And
Hello,
then you get
everybody.
and
Happy
you tell me you're too hot.
Palooza Wednesday. Behave.
Yes, dear. Arf.
Oh my gosh. How is everybody doing? My brave, wonderful husband just drove our daughter to and from dance in lots of ice and snow.
Yes.
We are in Buffalo, New York, and we are in the heart of the winter. And we are I'm hoping that winter is almost over.
Okay, that's optimistic.
My friend said 1 more month. Let's see.
Is your friend a weather person?
I feel like it has snowed in April, but I'm getting off topic.
You are.
Okay, so I did want to tell everybody the inspiration behind this topic this week. So first of all, it's Valentine's Day week, and I'm wearing my...
Oh, look at your heart earrings.
Yep, I've been wearing them every day. They're from Jamie.
Oh, I was going to say, I don't remember buying you those, and I apologize for not noticing.
I've been wearing them every day this week because it's Valentine's week.
Yes, I did not notice.
So it was the perfect present. Thank you, Jamie.
Yep.
And I love them so much, and I will continue wearing them every day this week.
Yep.
And I love Valentine's Day, and I want to give you a spin on it. And this is just not about romantic love. You don't have to have a romantic love. I feel like Valentine's Day is the perfect excuse to tell people that you love them and to show them that you love them. So I love Valentine's Day, and Valentine's Day is even more special to me because 21 years ago, Seth asked me out on our first date, and he asked me to go on Valentine's Day, which I love that you did that. That was bold.
Thank you.
And I had friends in town who had invited me out that night. So I didn't want to cancel on them and be like, sorry, I have a hot date. I can't go.
You should have. Then we could have had a Valentine's Day story.
I'm sorry. Are you upset about that?
No, it was 21 years ago.
I'm
good.
Man.
It worked out.
I guess I probably should have canceled on them. So anyways, I went out with them and I had a nice dinner and I told them about...
If we had gone out on Valentine's Day, it probably would have just been that, like, we wouldn't have had a 12-hour date because we would have just done dinner.
Yeah, it was meant to be.
It worked out.
Right. So he picked me up at noon on February 15th and we never looked back.
That's right.
We've been together ever since.
Yes.
And I went to work the next day on Monday and I told them that I found my husband. And I was right. I was right.
You were.
So that is the inspiration behind talking about marriage this week, between it being our anniversary and it being Valentine's Day. So what better topic for this week? So I wanted to look up John Gottman's research on marriage.
Dr. John Gottman.
Dr. John Gottman is the marital guru. He does marital research. And he's like, when you talk about marriage in my industry, like social workers, therapists, psychologists,
he's the guru.
We all talk about John Gottman. John Gottman is the man. And if you want to learn about marriage, look him up. He talks about the 4 horsemen of marriage.
The 4 horsemen of the apocalypse.
Yes. And I'm sorry, I'm getting lots of text messages from the PTA. Where was I? Okay, so I have talked about the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse of marriage. So I didn't want to do that again, but go look it up. It's super important. So I wanted to talk about the 7 principles of making marriage work that John Gottman has done research on.
Yes, and has a new New York Times bestselling book out of the same name.
So if we do these 7 things, it helps to make our marriage work.
Yes.
So I wanted to talk about them with you, and I wanted to talk about how Seth and I are doing with each of them.
Yes.
So I'm going to tell you something funny before I jump into this. I researched John Gottman this week. I learned more about him and his research. I read a lot, I studied a lot, and I wrote a lot. And last night, Seth and I went to Rochester for a marital training for his business group.
Yep.
And you could bring your spouse to this training. So we're driving there. It's like over an hour away. So I'm finishing my blog in the car, writing away as Seth is driving. And we go in and we sit down, and on the screen is...
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that light.
Somebody's here visiting us, is what I think. So on the screen at the training, it says 7 principles of making marriage work. And I looked at Seth and I was like, oh my God, I just did this all day.
And we went to a workshop led by a Dr. John Gottman certified practitioner on the 7 principles for making marriage work.
So I was like, okay. And I did my advice that I give to other people. So when I was a supervisor, I used to have therapists complain to me that I was making them go to yet another cognitive behavioral training. And they were like, we've done enough of these trainings. We don't want to go to anymore. And I was like, I promise you, keep an open mind. You will learn something. So I was like, okay, you're going to sit back. You're going to relax. You're going to keep an open mind and you're going to learn something. So it didn't matter that I had done that all day. I continued to learn last night and I knew my husband would enjoy it.
Very much. Thank you for going.
So
out on a school night.
So, okay, let's start with principle number 1 of sharing love maps. And I learned something about it last night.
Me too. You go first.
So I studied it. So I was learning about learning what makes your partner tick, learning what lights them up, learning what makes them happy. Like we need to know that and we need to help with that. And I feel like I know Seth's love map. What I learned last night is that it is always changing and that I have to keep up with Seth and how it's changing.
I felt the same way about you. I didn't at first I was resisting, I don't want the love map to change. I learned it when we were dating. I would like you to always stay the same. And then over the years, you're like, people change, people grow, people evolve. I don't like that piece of jewelry anymore. My tastes change, keep up. So
because I've matured.
Or whatever. So yes, it was good to hear from the professionals that your love map naturally changes and you got to keep checking in and finding out.
So I am going to use that example to teach all of us.
Yes.
I love jewelry. I will always probably ask for jewelry for everything. And when we met, my taste was younger. And now that I'm older, I don't want the stuff that my kids would wear. I want the stuff that a 48-year-old woman would wear. So Seth really doesn't know how to catch up to that. So I'm teaching him.
I've got better since you told me.
Oh, yeah.
Once you told me that I wasn't supposed to buy the dainty, cute whatever thing from Zales or whatever.
No dainty, cute stuff.
That you wanted the big honkin' diamond.
No.
Once I learned that, I switched buying you stuff. I figured I bought you stuff that you now like.
It's not about it being big. It's about it being a more mature piece of jewelry.
Okay.
So, anyways.
Whatever that means.
Let's not get stuck on jewelry.
Yes, please.
So, learn what makes your partner happy. Learn what makes them tick. Learn what lights them up. And help make that happen. So, let's think of an example for you. I'm probably going to use this a couple of times because I'm being super supportive about it on purpose.
Okay.
You love Krav Maga.
Yes.
So I know that you're growing and evolving and going to a new boot camp. And I know that you're going to get your 3rd degree black belt and that you're training for it and that your schedule has changed and your training has changed and I'm keeping up.
Yes, I greatly appreciate you letting me add in. I now go to every class half an hour early to practice extra, and I have classes on Friday nights, and I greatly appreciate you accommodating the extra time in my schedule.
Well, so I think that's an excellent point because if there's something that you and I want or love, we support the time commitment.
Yes, and mine is temporarily a larger commitment than it normally is.
Well, and that's okay. I don't expect all of your time.
I appreciate that.
Okay, so number 2, nurturing fondness and admiration. So I think that I have a secret decoder ring for marriage.
I think I have phenomenal.
I think I have cracked the code.
That'd be amazing.
And I think that the code is to really like your partner. We love them. We fell in love with them. We need to stay in love with them. But I like who Seth is. I am impressed by him. I admire him. He doesn't stop impressing me. I was laughing with Seth last night that one of my favorite things about us is that Seth will say, I don't know how you do it. And I'll turn to him and I'll be like, I don't know how you do it. And we're literally fighting with each other about I don't know which one of us did more today.
And it's not a competition.
We're not trying to compete. We're just
Right.
appreciating each other.
Appreciating all of the effort.
And we compliment each other because I'm doing a lot of the stuff that you don't want to do, and
Right.
you're doing a lot of the stuff that I don't want to do.
Or that isn't in our zone of genius, area of expertise, etc.
Yeah. So, so they said their advice for this was to rewrite the script, the scenario. So
That's when something goes awry.
So to stay fond of your
Yes.
partner.
Yes, find an empowering way to look at it.
So do you remember the examples that they used last night? Or
The donuts.
Well, the donuts, I don't think the donuts was this example.
Okay.
But that was good rewriting.
The other one was him getting up early and having clothes in the bathroom so he could sneak out and take a shower and get downstairs without waking her up.
Yeah, like her appreciating, like she went downstairs and she was annoyed that he left the coffee maker out.
It was the Keurig cup. It was the Keurig cup was left out.
Whatever.
Yes.
Instead of being annoyed that he left stuff out and made a mess in quotes.
Small mess.
She rewrote the script and was like, he put his clothes in this bathroom or whatever he did,
in the bathroom ahead
so
of
that
time,
he
every night.
could get dressed and be quiet and go downstairs before I got up.
Yes.
So she rewrote the script in an appreciative way.
Yes.
Yes.
And changed her emotional state.
Yes. Okay, so this is big, and I need to talk to my friends about this one. Turning towards each other versus away from each other. And I think this was my biggest lesson last night.
Okay, I didn't know this.
Because all we were talking about on the car ride home was all those times of us mentioning stuff during the day is us attempting to connect with each other. And if we respond, then we're putting deposits in
To our emotional bank account.
If we turn away, then we're not connected.
Yes, I did not realize this. Up until yesterday, I would have thought, if you had asked me a lot of the time, oh, she's just talking out loud. She's processing out loud. She's thinking out loud. I don't need to respond. There was no question directly aimed at me. She's just talking, and I would not respond or not think I needed to do anything. Apparently, that was not correct.
So
Did you see today when you were processing out? I thought you were processing out loud. I still commented anyway.
What was I saying?
I don't remember, but I know that I've responded to everything you've just stated randomly out loud.
So like the example that she used that I loved, because my friends will do this to me about the weather, is she just says that, your husband says it's going to rain tomorrow. And you could say something snarky like, I do have a weather app. Or you could say, thanks, honey. That's good to know. Like you could say something nice.
Positive, yes.
So like when my friends tell me about the weather, I don't follow the weather. It's one of my downfalls.
It's not a downfall. I don't follow the weather either.
I need to be more aware. Like my friend or my mom will text me and be like, there's a snowstorm's coming, like go get gas, or like it's going to be really cold tomorrow. Like I like the heads up, and that's them connecting with me. So they're taking.
So now you're going to respond.
I always respond, but they're taking care of me and they're responding. And I'm just telling you that as your partner is talking to you through the day, like, hi, how are you? How is your day going? Tell me about your meeting that you just had. When your partner's trying to make conversation or touch you.
I think those are more obvious because I heard questions in there like, how was your day? I wouldn't normally ignore that. But going, I have so much to do, or why won't this damn computer won't work, isn't normally Seth, I'm like, you say something in the other room 3 times, and then you're like, will you come help me? I'm like, oh, you're talking to me. Yes, I will come help you.
Okay, but that is a guy move because if I say my computer won't work, that is speak for Seth, come fix my computer.
Well, why don't you just tell me you need help then?
So I'll be more direct.
Right?
But like to me, that's obvious.
It is not.
It is my computer won't work. Seth, get your buns over here.
You're just banging on the thing and you're just going, this stupid computer.
It works.
But there are times I come over and you're like, I wasn't talking to you. And I'm like, okay, how am I supposed to know when? Ask an actual question.
Okay, so I will be more direct in my communication.
That would help me. My secret decoder.
You've been teaching me that since you met me.
I've been trying.
He does not want indirect. Men do not want us to be indirect or
Nope.
passive
Or
in our
subtle.
communication. No subtlety.
If only this computer would work.
Well,
yeah,
no.
that's a bummer. I wish it would work too. No, you were supposed to take that
Oh my
as come
God.
help me.
Well, the couple that I just interviewed, who will be live on Friday, by the way, I will talk about them. They were like, don't be subtle about sex either. Like,
All right.
Right?
Now we're talking.
right? Like actually say something. Like, don't do something subtle. Like, women can be very subtle in general. So I think
There have been times I
Right?
have missed your signals for sure. And I found out the next morning that you were like, I wanted you. And I'm like, oh, I had no freaking clue.
well, so be direct, people.
Yes,
be
you were
direct.
like, I was looking at you. And I'm like, oh, that's what that look meant? I'm so sorry.
Be direct. That
Yes,
is the
that is a
and
good-
turn towards,
Yes.
connect, respond,
Respond.
answer.
Yes, I'm sorry the computer didn't work. I'm happy to help you.
Oh my God. Letting your partner influence you. This is a good one.
Yes, yield to win, right?
Yes, yield to the middle. Yield to win together. So you're here, I'm here, come to the middle and come to a compromise and influence each other. I think we're really good at that. We're not like, screw you, I'm going to do what I want.
Correct. We aren't. That would not go well.
She said, say, tell me more so that you can understand where your partner is coming from. And I feel like I really care about what you think and ask you questions and take into account. I don't always agree with you.
Right. I don't expect you to.
I think that it's good to know, and we're going to get into this more with problems, but it's good to know who feels more
Stronger,
strongly
yes.
about what topic and how does each other feel and is there a compromise we can come to?
Yep.
But we definitely care what each other thinks. I think when you don't care about what each
That's
other
the problem.
thinks, that is a huge problem.
Yes.
Solving your solvable problems. I love that she said, come in soft. I will always remember that line.
That would be very helpful.
Hey now. So your arguments, she said last night, your arguments tend to end how they begin. So begin it softly.
Yes. If you come in hot, it's going to end hot,
If you come in soft, it's going to end soft,
which sounds lovely.
which we can hope for.
Can you give me an example?
Of what?
Coming in softer. You're mad at me because I didn't come help you with the computer. This is hypothetical.
Honey, do you mind coming over here and helping me? I could really use your help.
Okay, so that's just you being direct and asking the question. I'm looking for a come in soft. So how would you softly be like, I'm mad at you that you didn't come help me?
I would love if when I'm having a problem that you would respond and come help me instead of not coming over to help me.
Okay, so notice you used I statements.
Well, I'm doing that on purpose.
I know
That's-
you're doing it right. So I was pointing to out to
I
people.
wanted to say something else.
Right. But she used an I statement. She used language that it was about her feelings. So I didn't feel defensive or attacked. Yes.
So I feel X about X and I need X.
Yes.
I feel
X about Y and I need Z.
yes.
Yes.
So I think that what I find is that when we practice solving problems, it helps us with bigger problems.
Yeah.
And there's problems in marriage that are going to be easily solvable. And there's problems in marriage that you've been having for 21 years that you're still working on.
We have 21-year-old problems.
Yes.
We do?
Oh my God, yes.
Okay, we're going to have to talk about that.
There's problems in our in our life that Seth and I have had.
Oh, okay. Stuff that we
Right?
have not fixed yet. Got it. But not like problem in our marriage. That sounded very serious to me.
There's not a no. Okay, I said it wrong.
You didn't say it wrong. Perhaps I interpreted it differently than you meant it.
I think that people have problems, overcoming gridlock. I think people have problems that they have a lot of trouble solving. And what I read is that what's more important than solving the problem is appreciating the effort that each other is making trying to solve the problem.
Yes, I'm willing to make whatever effort you will let me on one or two of those problems, and it just depends how you're feeling that day, how much effort you are allowing me to put in.
So it says to go after the underlying dream. So she used the car as an example. So like a man was upset that a woman went out. It's not a good example. I feel like it tends to be the man who goes out and gets the sports car.
Right. In her example, it was the man came home and the woman had bought herself this super duper fancy Porsche that she had wanted since she was a kid without talking to him.
Yeah. So
Surprise, I got a Porsche.
Right. So she had wanted the Porsche since she was little. And she went out and bought it because it was an underlying dream that she hadn't talked about that she really wanted.
Right.
So he didn't have an understanding of why she bought the Porsche.
No, just all of a sudden say, hey, there's a very expensive car in my driveway.
But I'm sorry, you shouldn't go buy a Porsche without talking to your husband first.
I would agree.
I don't think you should buy cars without talking to each other.
Anything remotely expensive.
So I was just telling someone that I feel like I don't know what our rule is, but I feel like something is more than $100. I want to talk to Seth about it. I don't know that Seth feels the same way, but like I wanted to spend $160 on something, and I felt like I should probably talk to him about it before I did it.
I mean, I said yes. I didn't think I thought the rule. I know the rule that you gave me that we agreed on for me relating to work was I couldn't spend more. Was I wasn't going to spend more than like $500 on something without talking to you. That was the last time we had that conversation a long, long time ago. So your rules may have changed since then.
I mean, it's our rules, and it's what works for the two of us.
Yes, well,
I
personally as I catch up and finish that money book, those rules might change.
I just feel like if something is more than $100, we should probably talk about it.
Okay.
But I mean, maybe we came to $500 years ago.
Probably.
I don't know.
I would think it'd go up with inflation, but now you're going backwards, but we'll work on that.
I mean,
I don't know that there's that much at work I only spend $100 on.
So, according to this money book that I just read, like, I can't even tell you how clueless I am about what bills Seth pays at work. And that makes me so sad that I am so out of the picture. And I did it to myself.
Thank you.
I'm not blaming Seth. I'm blaming myself. So what is the book called?
Money for Couples?
Money for Couples. So I just finished the book Money for Couples.
I'm
Seth is still reading it. So it is inspiring me to know more about our finances. Like that's the goal, is both people are supposed to be involved in the finances.
Yes.
So I need to learn more about the house, but I also need to learn more about work.
Yes, we're starting with the house because it's way simpler, and you don't want originally shut down about when that got more complicated. So let's do baby steps and do the house first, and then when you're ready, we can baby step the businesses.
Sounds like a plan.
Yes.
Okay, so the last principle is creating shared meaning together. And she said rituals, roles, goals, symbols.
Yep. I like this one a lot.
Okay, so why do you like this one?
I think you used a different word for it when we first started dating, and you first started sharing with me some of your expertise, and I think you called it recreational companionship.
Oh.
Doing something together that we both enjoy, and then we bond over it. Like, I love now that you've gotten me reading a bunch of the same books. Like, we read Throne of Glass, we read the Fourth Wing series, I'm working on Onyx Storm now, we're reading the Money book. Like, I love that we're sharing that together and then talking about it and learning and growing from the Money book and commenting over the novels and stuff.
I think that Seth and I have found that we both love reading.
Yes.
And it's a really good place for us to come together.
Right, because you're not going to come spar with me.
Oh, God, no. I'm
Right.
not coming to Krav.
And I'm not going to come hang out with the Golden Girls and have a meal for 4 hours and listen as well as you will. I exaggerate.
But, like, I'm trying to think of other stuff. I don't even think I wrote about this correctly now that I think about it. I don't even think I wrote this. I was talking about supporting each other's goals, but it's more...
You could be right. I could be
wrong.
wrong.
No, I'm wrong. You're right. It's supposed to be goals together.
Right, which we wrote a list of. They had us do 3, 5-year, 10-year, lifetime couple goals, and I was thrilled but not surprised to see that a lot of ours worked the same. Like, we wrote them down separately, and then we talked about them, and we had a lot of the same things on our list.
Okay, so do you remember a couple?
We had some travel stuff, we had some kids stuff, we had some charity stuff.
Yeah. So just finding meaning together.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
And those are his 7 principles of making a marriage work.
And we did highlights from a few of them at the workshop. And I'm super excited to go through the rest of the workbook. We did like 4 exercises, and I'm super excited to do the rest of them with you and see what else we learned.
So I just want to make sure there's a couple notes. I wrote some notes at the end of my blog. So I wrote the blog before the training. So then on the way home after the training, I was like, okay, I want to go back and see like what else do I need to add. So there is a PS at the end of my blog that you can read at wineypalooza.com. And it has things like the 5-to-1 ratio.
Yep.
So like you need to have 5 positives to 1 negative.
In terms of your interactions.
Yes. You like to say, you like to bring up sandwiching. You really like sandwiching.
Praise, correct, praise.
Yes.
Start feeling good, leave them feeling good.
I think that the best thing that we took away from last night that's going to help our relationship is she described it as emotionally flooded.
Yes.
Which I love when I get language for how I'm feeling, because sometimes I don't know how to communicate how I'm feeling.
Yes.
And I think sometimes I get so flooded with my emotions that I can't communicate. And she said that Gottman says that you need a 20-minute break at that point.
That is apparently the optimal length of an adult timeout.
So that's good to
reset
know.
your nervous system.
I think that was really good for Seth.
Yes. Because I normally, when she wants a timeout, when she can't communicate, I sillily have been 21 years, I made up a word, have been pushing you going, no, you can't shut down. You have to keep talking. We have to figure it out. But you're not in a state to figure it out. So I need to know that it's okay for you to get a 20-minute break and that you'll come back and we'll finish the conversation when we're calmer. And I now need to give you that space. And I am excited to be able to now feel safe doing that for you. Because to me, whenever you shut down, it meant now it's worse than when she was yelling. And I really, really can't let her go away and think by herself. This is bad when women do that. Apparently, you need to do that. And I need to let you do that so that you can come back and we can have a more rational conversation. Right? In the movie, when the woman needs space, it's never a good thing, right? She doesn't come back and go, oh my God, I love you so much, right? Apparently in real life, that's going to happen.
Well, because what I've learned in my 400 interviews, I don't know how many interviews I've done. I'm making that up.
It's a lot.
I've talked to a lot of experts and, I had training about the brain, but the reinforcement is always so good because how often do I talk about the parts of my brain? And when I'm feeling emotionally flooded, my rational brain doesn't work. So Seth needs to know that I'm in a place where I'm not even thinking clearly.
Right.
And I'm in my reactive fight or flight mode. And I tend to want to flight.
Yes.
Now, I don't leave the house. I don't run away. I just
emotionally shut down and check out.
I just walk away.
You need to go away right now.
So like my sign is Cancer, and I described to Seth that I'm
You're going into your shell.
I'm going into my crab shell. And I will come out, give me my 20 minutes, hopefully less.
I would like 20 minutes or less instead of like a day or two.
It doesn't take a day or two. You're exaggerating.
There are times that you don't talk to me till like the next night.
That is so not true. That
is so true. You don't talk about anything other than who's getting the kids where. You don't talk about the thing that you're upset about because you're still figuring out your feelings.
Okay, he's exaggerating because of his feelings.
I'm exaggerating because of my feelings?
Yes, you're exaggerating because it hurts you so deeply.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good to know. It's a good thing I have you here to translate myself.
Oh my gosh. So,
Friday.
We have good language. It's called emotionally flooded.
Yes.
You need to take a 20-minute adult timeout. You need to come back together and find the common ground, the common goal, the compromise.
Yes.
And that's all of my notes.
Awesome.
So we covered it.
Awesome.
So those are the 7 principles of making a marriage work. And I thought it was the perfect topic for this week.
Yes.
And I really wanted a expert couple for my podcast this week because my podcast this week is on Valentine's Day. So I wanted to talk about marriage with them. So you're going to hear from Tony and Elisa DiLorenzo. and they are one extraordinary couple, is what they call themselves. And
It's the name of the business. Yeah.
Yes, it's the name of their business. And I loved talking to them, and you're going to love them. So that is this Friday. I did a February Valentine's Day challenge in the Whiny Palooza Mom group. Come find us on Facebook. It's a supportive community. And I'm going to tell you all that Katie Ladota is our winner this month.
Yay, Katie.
So I will go post that for her. And we had a ton of comments, and so the comments are entry. I was looking for the word. Thank you for finishing my sentence. So every time someone comments on a question for the 5 days each month, they get an entry, and Katie won. So I will get Katie her Valentine's Day prize, and we will do another one in March, starting on March 1st. But there's lots of support and advice, and people talk about challenges and how they're feeling. And I feel like it's a wonderful, supportive community. So come find us.
And go to whinypalooza.com, check out the blog, find Rebecca's link tree, which has all of her amazing resources, and make sure to sign up for the newsletter, which is 3 times a week to your email inbox filled with awesome marriage and parenting tips. And with all of her content, please just remember to like, share, rate, review, and subscribe.
So I was listening to in a podcaster, I believe, and she was telling people that she really needs them to rate her podcast and leave reviews.
5 stars, please.
Because then what happens is the algorithm sends it out to more people.
Yes.
So that's how you get seen by more people.
More traction.
Yes. So we appreciate it. And we appreciate your comments and suggestions and ratings, and share this with a friend who you think would love to learn more about marriage, relationships, that kind of stuff.
Amen.
Anything else?
Happy Whiny Palooza Wednesday.
Have a wonderful Valentine's Day, everyone.
Yes, I'm looking forward to it.
And we will see you next week.
Thank you for tuning in to the Whiny Palooza podcast. If you like what you heard, please be sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode. While you are there, leave a review. I love to hear your feedback. Thank you so much for listening. Until next time.
This show has been produced by Market Domination, LLC. To discover how you can have your own show completely done for you and turn it into a real published book and become the authority in your marketplace, go to www.marketdominationllc.com/podcast offer.
49 faces looked to him in triumph. Over the last 12 months, they had each taken turns and promoted his business for a week at a time, driving over $987,342 in revenue. What if you had a network of 50 centers of influence who promoted your business every week for a year? Grab your copy of the #1 Amazon best-selling book, The Ultimate Guide to Growing Your Business with a Podcast, at 33% off the Amazon price by going to ultimatepodcastbook.com. Again, that website for 33% off the Amazon price is ultimatepodcastbook.com.